All right, so thank you very much for joining to this session. Actually, this was an idea from Cryptic team to organize because a lot of new people joining to this channel as well, and also to mine. So I think we both think that it can be beneficial for the new users, and maybe can be beneficial for the old folks as well if they miss some updates or they not follow the updates or maybe some of the videos what we have shared. So if they have any question or maybe some doubts with the features, I can answer together with A joined also. So one of us for sure will be able to answer the questions during this meeting. I roughly planned a 30 minutes session. Hopefully we will be able to highlight the main features, the most common features, and a little bit introduction of both what we are providing currently. So yeah, I will present on the ETH bot, but whoever is just using the BSC one should have the same features available. So there is no difference between the two applications. We are building parallelly both, and all the features are the same, even though some features are not used in one and other features are not used in the another, because we already know that anytime can happen that devs or someone just want to move their some features, or for example, let's say tomorrow someone said that okay, if swings pre-sale starts, and then everyone just looking that why it's not implemented. So we adding all the features to both bot to make sure that's ready in case they add something new to the networks. So yeah, the first application what I will present is the exclusive TUF bot. Briefly, we are in the market since 2021, 1st of June. So I think we are one of the first. Of course, there were some bots before, but a pretty long time already in the market. We started with some basic tool, but slowly, based on the user's request, we added many features into the app, and right now today it's already a well complex application, and a lot of features are added, and based on the needs, how the people are able to trade properly. You know that the devs are tricky. I'm pretty sure that we have dev and also other bot providers here as well, so welcome them, and hope they also can learn something, and hope they don't want to fuck up your trade. But that's part of the game. So yes, we boosted the application with many features. Exclusive bot, but before we got free tires, but we decided to reduce the lower tires because during this 1 year we realized that there is no point to keep different tires, because other tires are kind of losing always in front of the exclusive version. So at some point we decided that we're just going with the exclusive one. You can see it's split into several parts, the application. The top part's basically to add your personal information. This is how we are licensing the application. Private keys needed to be able to communicate with your MetaMask wallet. Unfortunately, this is needed to be added, otherwise you are not able to track. It's encrypted locally. We never asked that we are licensing the public address. So yeah, private key is never visible for us, and we don't deal with that. We never ask that. Next to the main sessions, you can see some profile settings. If you have more license, you can set up profiles, different settings, so you can have multiple profiles in the application. There is a settings button where basically you can set up your private node if you have your own. You can also set up public nodes as well, but we all know that those are pretty much useless, or they not providing proper service, or they are too slow, or they are not working. So recently many issues in both network on BSC and on ETH as well. So you can run your own node, or you can run from us as well. You can see some language settings. So we have implemented, I think, 8 or 10 languages. If you have some language barrier with English, so you can have the application in your own language. Also, you can change swaps, V2, V3, Flashbot. And to be honest, personally, I'm not really boosting with this new swap portals, what picking up for 1 day or 2. I know it's a little bit pain for the expert users, because they might need for that one trade, but literally they are dying after the first project what's launching, and it takes more time to implement than, so basically I never been bothered with that, but maybe in the future we will manage the application that users can add manually those swaps. But personally I felt that it's not really worth, because if they launch a no-name swap portal, they manage one launch, family and friends eat well, then it's dead. Some more extra buttons are over here. You can connect to your Telegram to scrap tokens if they just sharing on the Telegram channel the address. You can check your latency. You can check if you have any pending transaction. If there is any pending transaction, you can delete it and make it back to steady. You can clear cache. So basically, if something gets stuck on your block because of mistype or something, you can clean up everything and you can start from scratch. You can, if you have Node with us, it's showing you in the right top corner when it's going to be expiring, and also it's giving you in the latest versions, it's giving you a kind of reminder that it's going to be expiring in 24 hours. Yeah, pretty much the settings is that's it. About the main tab, tabs are for pre-sale platforms, for contract and history, but the trades are happening on the main tab. Left side, the console one, where all the messages coming up about the trade what you have managed from the buy to the sell. Underneath in the little console, you are seeing the pending transactions, what's going to happen in the future. Next to the console part, you can see some sub wallets. If you have some, you can boost up your main wallet with sub wallets. Don't need the extra node for that, so you can just add those extra wallets, and then you can enjoy that low market cap tokens. You can do cancel pending transaction over here as well. Then you can manually sell as well the sub wallet tokens. It's not automatically changing the wallet, and you cannot really tag the token, but from the main one you can have an idea how it looks like, and if you want to sell it without the main one, you can just click on this button, then it's gonna sell. And then if you can see the buy part of the application, where basically you need to give the default set. It goes with the default settings where you can add investment. Divide one is literally it's the mandatory one, so basically one-time transaction, but you can split it to 2 or as much as you want. But nowadays it's not really useful, because in the past there were no limitation how much transaction you can send to one. Was that one block? But nowadays they pretty much every dev using that only one transaction goes to one block per wallet. So it's not anymore that useful, but the default divide one should be there. You can set up your gas price and gas limit manually. There is a live gas tracker at the bottom, so you can see that currently on this 69 block, the current gas is 65. So if you use the manual gas setting, you should be at least adding the same or a little bit more to have a pretty fast transaction. A lot of people are reaching limit with a very low amount of limit, but I would suggest at least use 500k or a little bit more to make sure that all the transactions are passing. And this is how you can set your manual buy. But now we have implemented the gas multiplier. So basically, if you are checking the gas multiplier, it's always using the actual gas on the block, and it's calculating how much gas and limits needed for the transaction. And also you can see that gas price and limits are grayed out. If you add an extra percentage, let's say 20%, it's accordingly changing. So the default plus 20% added here, and this is how your transaction will goes. This kind of trade is not recommended for new token launch, because there you always need to use autogway, because you need to run side by side with the developer. So gas multiplier and manual transaction should be used if you are aping a dip, or you just buying into some token, or for the sell, if you want to manual sell. There you don't have to use autogway. You should go with your manual gas settings or the multiplier. If you have a gas multiplier added and you're also waiting for new launch, it's autogway is overwriting the multiplier, so it should follow the developer open trade gas settings, and 95% of the times you will use autogway on the ETH bot. However, on BSC is not really the same. In BSC, most of the times you should go with individual gas settings, because the blocks are short, and pretty much there who's used most gas and have pretty decent private node. As you can see, there are arrows left and right everywhere, because as I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of features are not fitting in the main tab, so we needed to hide some. And now I opened the first tab, where you can see some advanced setups for the buy part. As I mentioned, the autogway is pretty much mandatory for ETH in case you are trading for new launch, because you don't want to front run the developer. So I would say 95% of the times all the users are using autogway. There are also several extra fields what you can use. Basically, I think on ETH was the first time when they've started to use not just the add liquidity method, so they started to add liquidity, and the token was paused, so they opened the trade with the open trade method or enable trade method or whatever method they wanted. And so also there is a possibility to check those methods, and you can boost up and follow and monitor those method IDs. So if you set the method ID and your settings and you click buy, the application stays steady until the method's not getting called by someone. Why I'm saying someone? Because if you are just monitoring method ID and you have an experienced person, that experienced person can call the method ID and basically can get rid of the bots. I'm pretty sure that most of you already seen similar, when everyone just gets activated but nothing happened by the dev. So that's why we have implemented a scan wallet part. So if you also scan the developer wallet and the method ID and you click cross-check, basically you limit the method ID being called by the developer only, or the wallet who you are pasting into the scan wallet field. Also, you can see that you can swap pairs. Sometimes happening that the pair is not on ETH. Rarely they are using USDT or USDC pairs. So if you have a different pair, don't forget to change it. In case you're changing in the application, make sure that the following pair what you are selecting is approved. If it's not approved, the application will mention it, but if you want to make sure, pick the USDC or USDT address, paste it to the to address field and hit approve, and it's gonna happen on your wallet. As nowadays a lot of people are changing pretty much every second day the wallets. Make sure in the new wallet what you are using in the tool as well approved, otherwise you will have failed transaction, because if it's not approved, it's not gonna go through. Token checkbox used when you are using the pair. So for example, if you are want to trade with wrapped ETH, you should check the token box, and then it's not gonna ape with the ETH, it's gonna go with the wrapped ETH. For that, if you are just holding ETH in your wallet, that's not sufficient. You also need to hold wrapped ETH as well to be able to trade. Drop and replace transactions. So basically, drop and replace can be beneficial for you if you are delaying blocks, because it's creating announced in advance, and you can save some time up for the trade. Basically, it's provide you a tiny bit faster transaction. But I only recommend use this when you are delaying some blocks. And if you are not shooting on that for some reason, make sure that you are cancel the pending transaction, what I have showed you in the settings, because there will be a stuck transaction in advance, and if you just want to buy into something, you will realize that it's not going to go through because you have a stuck transaction. So if you don't use, if you wanted to use the drop and replace, but for some reason you are not doing it, and you move the next token, make sure it's cancelled and unchecked. You can see, I think nowadays the most popular trade style is that you are buying max wallets, and everyone trying to buy up the max wallet. What I wanted to mention to everyone, that if you are aping with max wallet, make sure that your investment is sufficient. So I know everyone wants to pay less and less, but unfortunately this market is not work like that. How you imagine that, okay, for the max wallet, we'll just pay 0.05 or something, or 0.01. Sometimes I'm seeing a lot of shocking investment on the application, and kind of complaints that, I went reverted, and what's the reason? So yeah, that's the reason, because you don't put enough investment for the max wallet. So my recommendation is to use at least 0.0, 0.15 or 0.2 for max wallet, and that should be fine. And don't think that you will use that amount. If the router don't need that amount, it's going to be paid back to your wallet. So just leave some room for the max wallet, and that should be fine, your transaction. In case you don't want to have max wallet, just leave empty and use the investment part, and you will get the amount what the root and care pays for you for the investment. So you will get the most what you can get for 0.2 ETH. That blocks over here. So if you want to skip some blocks, you put the number. On BSC it's a little bit different. So here it's milliseconds because the blocks are shorter, and you need to add there milliseconds. So one block is 3k millisecond. If you want to skip one block, use 3000 milliseconds. On if as the blocks are not the same size, it's very random. You use 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, how many blocks you want to skip. You can see that you can set your slippage. I think it's also very common nowadays that everyone goes with the 100 slippage, what's the proper sniper settings. However, the sandwich bots and front running bots are basically just using that opportunity to take your money. So if you are aping to zero tax token or closer to zero tax token, make sure that you are lowering your slippage to not get victim by sandwich bots. Check liquidity is very important. I only recommend to not use when the token is active and it's already live and trades are happening there. Basically, it's just an extra check on the if there is a liquidity or not. Personally, I'm never disabling. I know I'm not saving time, but it's not hurt much than just forgetting it. Then you will have a reverted message if you accidentally forget to add back. So basically, I am always using. I know few of you switching on and off accordingly to the trade. It's fine if you feel that you are often forgetting, better to leave. You don't waste too much time on that if you leave it checked. To address field, here you paste the address, whatever you want to snipe. Will appear the name and the symbol and the icon where you can check the chart currently. Scan is added there. Hopefully they will go live shortly on 4th of August. So whenever you will click on this icon, the scan chart will appearing, and basically the application is ready to ape if it's active, based on the settings what I have. But what I wanted to show you is the simulator now. So if you click on the following icon, you can do a trading simulation on the specific address what you are selecting. There is an OTX button. What it stands for that if you leave it empty, basically it's doing a simulation when the token gets deployed. If you leave all transactions checked, it means that it's checking the transactions managed by the developer and accordingly doing the simulation. So for example, there can be differences between deployment and after a couple of minutes. A lot of times the dev deploying the token, then after changing tax and whatever he wants to change. So I recommend you to keep that always on. So you can see the simulator done the job. You can see some details, max wallet, max cell size, what's going to be the method ID for open trade, max buy, max wallet, and how many blocks you have to skip because of blacklisting. It's also mentioning over here. There is two important buttons in this page. The following button what give you the max wallet size to the application. So basically it's sending to the main page the max wallet, so you don't need to manually type. And the set bot what will set for you the method ID and the dead blocks. So if you want to go with max wallet and the method ID and the dead blocks, you have to click on this icon and also the set bot as well. In case for some reason the application is not able to do the simulation, just please hit the send report button. We are getting notification on the token, and we can investigate and teach the application. So we started this initiative, I would say 1.5, 2 months ago. We are collecting all the contracts and literally every day or every second day we are investigating the previous tokens and finding out what we can improve on the simulator. It's a pretty daily task for us to review all those tokens. So if you feel that for some reason the method ID or the dead blocks or something went wrong with the simulator, just hit the button and we will be able to investigate and see. Both works exactly the same on BSC and on ETH. As I mentioned, I'm just doing the presentation on ETH because I think more ETH user currently here. There are also several tabs on the simulator part. You can see who is the owner. If the owner has had before previous tokens, it's going to be listed here. You can see that the guy have no balance or how much balance he has, and pretty much some information about the owner. You can see all the functions what are available in the contract. So if you need something for some reason, you can find it out here. Also, you can see the transactions. So for example, if it's changing the tax or calling out something malicious or suspicious to not go in, it will be appearing here. And also the enable trading. So you can see that the enable trading being called. So this token is already live. If you are scroll right, you can find the telegrams as well, date and the telegram portal. If it's able to find something related with the names, it's going to be appearing here. We also have the Telegram simulator available for non-users and users as well, so you don't need to run the simulator. But please note that this is checking the simulation during deployment, so the more accurate will be always on the application when you live simulate. So it can happen that you have something here, but when you do a live simulation, there is already changes because the dev changed something. Telegram is not following those. You can see that there is an available checksum number. Basically, it's checking up if in the past there were similar or same method ID used or methods, functions used by any other tokens. but that will be visible in the Telegram. So for example, you can see that the following checksum being used already 11 times in the past since we have implemented this feature, and based on our simulator, none of them being a scam or high taxed or unsellable. So those informations also available on the Telegram. That's not implemented yet to the bot, but I'm pretty sure that most of you are tracking also the TG as well. All right. You can also check here the method ID in case you want to check a little bit deeper. Basically, you can click any of the method ID. You can call with the crosshair and you can get the method ID if you want. If for some reason the simulator is not working, there is a different way how you can call up the method ID as well. So yeah, this is the buy part of the application. I'm moving to the sell part. What's operating exactly the same as the buy. Manual gas price you can set or you can use the multiplier. Slippage you can set auto approve, what can be useful, but at the same time can be not so useful as well, because if the developer auto blacklisting those who are approving too fast, then you can be in trouble. So double think if you want to use auto approve or not. By the way, behind all these sell buttons are also an approve button, so you don't need to manual click. So whenever you are click on sell, it's gonna check if the token is approved, if it's not, and then gonna sell. If it's approved, then it's no checks, just straight goes to the sell. Behind these percentage buttons are also sell buttons. So if you wanted to sell half of your bag, you don't need to click 50% and then sell all. If you click on 50%, it means it's gonna sell your half of your bag. If you want custom sell, for example, 12%, you set 12 and hit a custom button. Whenever you are trading, for example, with 0.2 ETH and the buys goes through, it will appearing under all investment how much you have EBS and the balance. And from the balance and the all investment is checking how your profit or how is your loss in ETH or percentage wise. It's flashing green and flashing red accordingly if buys or sells happening. Obviously, if it's flashing green, more buys coming in. If it's flashing red, some sells are coming in. So it's pretty much giving you a signal in advance which direction the token goes. If for some reason it's not updating, click on the refresh button and probably will pick it up. If you stop the trading and you want to check back for a token, you paste here the address, your original investment, let's say 0.2 was in the past, and if you click on the refresh button, it's will loading up your balance and considering that your trades continues, so you can recall back all tokens as well and monitor or sell just 50% with the tool. And then if you can set up some stop loss or auto sell if you want, and yeah, accordingly to you can set a timer like I want to sell after 30 seconds. It's I think more common on BSC that after pre-sales happening within 5 seconds everyone wants to sell. Pretty much that's the trend over there, or it was the trend a couple of months back for sure, that everybody wants to sell everything right after they receive the token from pre-sales. Telegram features are hidden, but it's also there. So if you registered your Telegram and you connect it to the application, you can scan and monitor specific channels. You can set up bots, what you want to ignore or what you want to keep. You can set up certain conditions that it should auto buys, check token pairs, because for example, DEX tools are operating with token pairs, or accordingly to the Telegram or the simulator, you can have some setups, but most of the tokens on ETH especially not verified, so those buttons are hardly possible to use because until they are not verified, it takes too long to check. So most of the times people using on BSC because BSC devs gladly not hiding what they have behind on the contract. All right, I will take a short pause here. If anyone have a question, I will also just go through and check the messages. Meantime, if someone wants to speak or ask me a question, feel free.
I think someone is asking for a live snipe, but I'm not sure how possible that would be.
What's the purpose to have a live snipe?
Someone also asked, what would you suggest for slippage on low tax tokens, on a 0% tax token?
Below 10. Last time when it was like a couple of weeks back when I entered to some token where been sandwich bot, 10% works fine for me. But to be honest, I haven't have a pattern what they are monitoring exactly, because they also goes often to big monies independently of the slippage. So it's a bit complex. Honestly, I already started with Yanni to see and check how they are operating, and hopefully shortly we will find some solution how we can bypass them, but it's not that easy. I would say Flashbot would be one of the solution, but I know that's a bit complicated. Yeah, currently they are destroying some tokens for sure. Goes.
Also, if anyone wants to ask a question on voice, you can also unmute your mic and ask it here.
Yeah, meantime I will answer ASD that without autograph you cannot snipe method ID. You can, but pretty guaranteed that you will front run the method ID. About your live snipe, if you don't mind, I don't want to dox my wallet because it's all information appearing in the screen and the transactions. But I think we have enough people here to confirm that the application works, because a lot of them using pretty long time. Questions, guys? We'll take a little water.
In what chat are people asking questions?
There is a tough chat on Chester's channel, and they are dropping some, but not much. I think there were 2 or 3 questions only.
Yeah, what's up?
I tagged you in it, by the way.
Oh yeah, thanks.
So here is where the people are asking the questions. If you want to ask it, you're free to also ask it on voice chat if you want to, though.
Exactly, it's open forum, so feel free to ask me. I'm not native. There is no bad or good English, just the native ones. I hope it's understandable for them as well. I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I got a question. What's up, Tommy? So whenever setting like the max TX on the bot or setting up for max wallet, should we knock some numbers off of that, or can we go for what the simulation shows?
I think I have recently changed to shows always -1, because I know that some people had the trouble to run with them very max. But when we are done the simulation, for some reason the max, like for example, if you are talking 20 millions and you set 20 millions and it said that it's exceed the max transaction amount. However, if you put 90 millions 99999, it goes through. So we done a little tiny bit changes, and it always shows 1 less now. So should be fine if you put the max wallet. Jack.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Sway Gold, you can, or SW Gold. Anyways, you can just start the bot before the liquidity is added.
Say again, A, please. I think that message goes to Jackie.
No. It's the guy below to SW Gold. He asks if you should start the bot after liquidity is added. or not. And it no, you don't have to do that. You can just start the bot immediately, and it'll check when liquidity is added.
Cool. There is a question in the chat that you can run just with the amount without ETH investment. Yes, you can. However, I'm not recommending that because if for some reason you stay behind and let's say 10, 15, 20 people gonna be in front of you, you're gonna pay a miracle. So yeah, in the past it's happened, so that's why we have limited that, put always something there, because some people victimed already with 1 ETH and they wanted to just spend like 0.1 or something. Oh, just quickly reading up if there is another question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but you never know how much you're gonna pay. You pay as much the router is asking for you, if you have enough balance, of course. If you don't, it's gonna revert. Did I miss anything? What we should add, what we should explain or show to the guys? Maybe I skip something.
No, you're actually getting really good at this. You basically don't skip anything. Yeah, only thing I sometimes see is people still put 0 in the block delay. Don't do that because the bot won't be able to calculate anything with 0. So just
Or
keep it
empty
empty.
divide.
Yeah, just keep delay at empty if you don't want to use it.
Yeah, you can, Admiral, you can add there as much as you want. Anyway, you will just spend as much as the router needs. So if you set 0.5, because you feel confident that until 0.5 you are fine, but the router just needs 0.05, you will pay that and the rest goes back to your wallet. And this is how the transaction hash also appearing. I know what I have missed before I start reading on the questions, if there is any. I don't know how many of you know this site, but it's pretty useful. If for some reason you get a reverted transaction, I highly recommend to use this site for investigating. So basically, you paste the transaction hash over here, and this gives you the exact answer for the fail. Most, I would say 90% of the times there is a proper answer what everyone can understand. If there is still doubts what's the reason, you can message us or you can just drop a ticket and we can see it. But for example, such things that you front run the liquidity, your buy amount exceeds, or your gas limit was wrong or something, that's pretty much always visible and very clearly mentioning what you have done wrong. So I can add this link to this channel, and feel free to use. I think it's very beneficial for everyone, especially for the new users or whoever don't know that site exists. Basically, I know that ETH scan or BSC scan often just give you a short message that it's failed, or something like what means nothing for you, but this one is pretty much give you the full details of the reason of the fail. So if you know what you are searching for, this definitely will give you the answer, and it's kind of debugging all the functions related to the search. It's very both BSC and ETH as well. That I missed. Oh, yeah. Someone had a question?
Yeah, I think Pat's asked about free nodes that are currently available, but I think for ETH,
ETH or BSC you're talking about, but
yeah, because ETH, it's basically the answer is no. Hey,
Infura provides free nodes. However, I think they have some certain limitation. So it's okay for snipe, but definitely not for tracking hours and age. Is the token that if your balance is moving 0.01 up or down. So if you just want to snipe, I think in Fiora it's fine, but for long-term scan, probably not. All right, I know what I have skipped. There is a card in case you want to purchase the application, or if you are running out of node or you want to change the wallet because trackers on you. After this short introduction of the card, I will show you the tracker bot as well briefly. So if you want to change quickly the wallet, you can just go to the application, you can manage from it. We are charging $5 because we need to charge something because this is how it works, the system. But in case happening that I'm available, just feel free to message me. I'm fine to swap the wallets. Just if I'm not in front of the machine and you need on the spot wallet change, you can manage from the application as well. I just ask one more time if you guys have any question regarding to the snipers. If not, I will do a quick intro about the tracker bot as well.
Yeah, I know some people that aren't here right now had questions about the tracker bot.
Sure. So if it's fine, Toki or Mundi, I'm moving to the sniper.
Yeah,
But
that's
later on, if you have any question, you know guys where to find me. So you can ask, just message me, and I'm happy to answer any question. So yes, last year October time, I realized with Yanni that I hate time rag, and I think I can confirm that I pretty much was not able to attend any of the launches. So I asked Yanni to create the tracker bot. So whenever you are seeing such any sniper tracking bot and D2's tracking bot or whatever they are coming up, this is not something new in the market because we are already having 10 months this tool in our repository. I know most of the snipers hate it because basically most of the tracker bot users are tracking the sniper bots, but it's part of the market. That's why wallet change exists, and if you mix your cards well, probably for a while they will not find your wallet. But the tool is exist. If it's not in my repository, it should be another person repository, but we have yes. It's part of the game, so sorry for the pro snipers, but yes, it exists. You can see that this tool is much more simple than the sniper bot. Basically, the reason is because you don't need to give that much information. You have to give a wallet, what you want to track. You can boost up the application up to 20 wallets. Simultaneously, we are checking all those wallets, and basically, if the 20 wallets aiming the same token with the by number one setup, you just follow the fastest, and the rest will be ignored. Here you can set up which wallet you want to follow, which wallet you don't want to follow. If you want to follow just buys or you want to follow sells as well, or both. You need to add the max investment what you are willing to pay for the follow. So basically, if the person who you are tracking aping every time with one ETH, you don't need to follow him with one ETH. You can just stay behind with 0.2 or whatever you have set. Accordingly, we account the application how much token you can get. But if the person apes below your maximum, then you will go with the amount what he used. So for example, let's say my maximum investment 0.2, and the person who I'm tracking a often he's aping every second trade with one ETH, but whenever a new launch he goes with the max wallet, and he goes with like 0.05 because that's the max amount, then I will not spend 0.2, I will just spend the amount he used for that trade. The minimum investment not very useful on BSC, but it was very useful in the beginning on ETH because I think just 1 hour ago there was a discussion that a year ago or literally end of last year, how high was the gas? The average was roughly between 100 and 200, and during that time not many people was selling with minimum profit because it was not worth to sell for them because the transaction cost more than what they have in the wallet. So we integrated this function that if you don't want to get bothered when your bag worth less than, for example, 0.01 because of the high gas, that will be ignored and stay on your wallet, and then you can sell it manually whenever the gas is not that heavy or it's cheap, or you can ignore if you don't want to sell because it's not worth it. As I mentioned, with the buy number, you can set how many times want you ape into one specific token. So for example, if the wallet you are tracking continuously aping to the same token, you can limit into 1 or 2 or as much as you want. Often some users by purpose aping to the same token to get rid of the tracker bot. But yes, it's also part of the game. But for example, with the buy number 1 settings, you will just follow once. You can set auto approve to make sure that your sell transaction happening fast. You can copy the slippage of the person, but also you can set individual slippage settings. You can frontline the person on if even with 1 extra gas or 2 extra gas, you can pretty much frontrun the person, but I'm not really recommending to frontrun anyone. First of all, because if the person is aping into new launches, you will also front-run the liquidity. So especially for buys is not really recommended. For sell, yes, you can. However, there will be the chance that the person figuring out that you are on him. So be careful how you are front-running snipers. Sniper bot users, especially the old ones, the senior snipers, I know what they are doing and they are smart enough. So I don't think there is any issue with the tracker if you are using correctly. If you don't use correct, sometimes you need to take the consequences, what's happening if the person is figuring out that you are on him. But if you are doing it nicely, you can be following every takes. No one will I mean, they might recognize you, but they will not get bothered if he is not losing money on you. So this tool can be used nicely as well. Don't need to always go for the maximum profit because sometimes the mooners worth more than front run 1 or 2 sells or buys. That's my personal opinion. You can limit your gas price. So for example, if you set 200 and the person is continuously aping with 500 gas because he got a lot of money, you can ignore those transactions. So it's really up to you. How is your limit? You can limit 50, so anything above what the person is sending will be ignored and it will be not followed. You can set your individual gas limit settings. Some people ask that's important for them. Fine, they can set their own limit. You can delay block. So for example, if you are tracking someone, you can stay behind 1 block for the buy and the sell as well. And also you can set up a transaction limit. For example, I will set 30 now. It means I'm following 10 trades for the users because 1 buy, 1 approve, and 1 sell transaction counts free. And if it's 10 full token launch, buy, approve, and sell, it's going to be 30. So basically for 10 trades, you are fine after the application will switch off. There is an integrated honeypot checker, what is operating together with our Telegram bot and with the simulator. It makes the bot a tiny bit slower, roughly 200 milliseconds, but at least wherever the Telegram able to read up the tax and if it's sellable or not, you can get protected. You can see the slider, you can set up a range. as you wish. So you use how you would like. I think health is below 20% tax for any kind of token, but if you are more brave, you can set even higher. It's really up to you. Basically, it's set how we have set the range on the Telegram bots and on the simulator as well. Important to mention method IDs you can see and the notes, so you can set up favorite wallets, but it's not really important now because probably your favorite is going to be on the track wallets. You can blacklist contracts, for example, stable coins do not follow when the people is or the track wallet stabling, or any token where you have already bag and you want to make sure that it's not aping there again. Quick answer to Jackie, it's really up to you. That energy saver gas settings, I wouldn't say it's very useful on tracker bot. On Sniper might be beneficial if you want to rely on the current block gas settings, and if you want to limit your maximum gas what you are willing to pay, and if you want to pay a tip for the miners. But let me just finish the tracker bot explanation, then I can move back for that topic. So you can blacklist the stablecoins and any tokens where you don't want to ape. And also you can teach up the application with smart contracts, because you know that it's getting popular to have smart contracts on the market. To be honest, we are not doing smart contracts because I'm almost pretty sure that our smart contract will be the one of what's going to be get blacklisted on every single contract. So that's why we are not moving that direction. It's not because that's so unique and it's so hard to do. No, it's not. We have our smart contracts, but we are not implementing to not get blacklisted on the spot. So, but you can track on the tracker bot. So basically what you have to do, you take the transaction, you load up the transaction for one for buy, one for sell. You set up accordingly to the parameters. If it's a buy, what will be the endpoint? You can set up pair and amount in and out as well. But actually, if you are following the tracked wallet with every single value, transaction value, then you don't need to do that. So you can, yes, track smart contract bots as well. Except map bots, then they are not trackable because they don't use they use private transactions, so they are not trackable. Actually, they are trackable, but with a tiny bit of delay, and of course they are changing too often their method IDs. So basically, in every hour you need to config your application. So I think it's just not worth to waste time on it. But yes, you can track smart contract bots as well. You just have to teach up the application how to read those. By default, it's following V2 and V3. So V3, yes, trackable. It's integrated. So also you are able to follow 1-inch trades and smart contract bots as well. You can see that there is a trade tabs. Basically, I don't have any trade on the ETH bot recently, but I think I have some on all the ones on the BSC one. So you can see that you can follow up your last 10 trades, whatever the tracked wallet managing in timeline. You can see the name, amount of token you have, and how much it worth. I'm pretty long time I'm not using, so these are old tracked contracts or some tests. You can see how much you are up currently, if it's sold or if it's just being purchased, or if there were an error during the sell. So let's say you want to top up your bag, you can set up a single buy as well, and you can just ape into the token, because you can see that the person bought, but you need higher, bigger bag. You can set up and you can manage the transaction over here on the pairs. And basically it's a kind of operating like a basic sniper bot. So you can buy in or you can jump in, and if you don't want to follow the person, sell. So you want to jump in that, now I'm gonna sell, you hit on the sell button, and basically your bag will be sold manually. So basically this tab, you can monitor your tokens, what the person bought, and if you see some nice gain and you think that is enough for you or sufficient for you, you can just sell manually. You don't need to wait for the person. Under the history tab, basically you can see the same, but in a little bit different way, because it shows you the transactions as well. Hold on, I will do a little trick. So under the transaction, you can see that what's been sold, what's not been sold. You can see the transaction hash. Also here you can manage your sell if you want. So basically here you can follow up what's happened in the trade, how much was your profit, and also if there is a error, you can see the reason behind. You take the transaction hash, you paste in the site what I mentioned previously, and yeah, you can follow up your trades. So yeah, TrackerBot is much more simple. There are pros and cons. Who's like to stay awake and snipe by their own. Sniper bot can be used for lazy peoples and for fathers. I think or family members. The TrackerBot is a great tool, because they can find a great wallet and then just follow the flow with the good snipers if they find a great wallet. I'm always mentioning that in the beginning, the best way to find wallets to check the charts without giving proper information out about the bot or about the wallet. I'm pretty sure that you know who are the good traders, so you can figure out. However, probably most of you know that we will launch our analyzer shortly, and there will be a tool what shows who are the best traders on each token, and there will be plenty functions and charts and analysis about contracts, persons, wallets, who's been the best, who's been the fastest, when they bought, when they sold. But it's in the future, coming up later. We haven't decided yet when we want to release that site. I will take a pause here if anyone have a question.
How many wallets are you able to track at a time?
20.
And what if
20
all 20 wallets ape into the same token?
You can, as I mentioned in the very beginning, you can set number 1 over here. It means one time buy into one specific token. So the fastest you will follow, the rest will be ignored.
I don't think we have many questions about the tracker. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mentioned that I roughly want to spend 30 minutes. However, it went up to 1 hour this meeting. If there is no questions, I would like to wrap up this call, but I'm happy to answer in the chat. Anyone?
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
also knows where to find you in your own Discord. I linked it in the chat, an invite link.
Cool. Thank you. I'm very happy that a lot of people joined, and hopefully this was beneficial for already existing users. If some questions or some features were not fully clear for them, hopefully I cleared that doubts, and now they will be even more efficient during their trades. But of course, we are in our channel, and if they have any question, they can just come over, open a ticket, and happy to answer with the team. So, right, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming.